Touchdown, Kansas City. Maybe the best play yet of Patrick Mahomes' incredible young career.
Whenever this lanky kid from White House, Texas started slinging footballs with jaw-dropping precision, no one could have predicted the superstar that he'd become. Patrick Mahomes didn't just lift the Lombardi Trophy with the Chiefs, he turned the league upside down with his creative and raw talent. Truth be told, Mahomes is just something else. Week after week, he's been making the impossible look absolutely easy, leaving fans and critics in shock and awe. But instead of just telling you about it, let's just take a thrilling ride through his incredible journey and see why Showtime is a game changer. If you're as excited as I am, smash that like button and subscribe too, as we're going to be diving deep into the amazing world of Patrick Mahomes. So, let's go! You see, Mahomes' journey had started just like so many other athletic greats, as an insanely competitive kid who lived, ate, and breathed sports. Born in 1995 to parents Pat and Randy, he grew up in the shadow of a dad's pro baseball career. His dad, Pat Sr., spent over a decade in the majors pitching for teams like the Twins, Red Sox, and Yankees. Sports was quite literally in Patrick's blood from day one. Growing up in White House, Texas, he was an absolute stud in every sport. You name it, football, baseball, basketball. Mahomes excelled at it all, but on the gridiron, he was something else entirely. As a high school senior, Mahomes went completely off the rails, throwing over 4,600 yards and 50 TDs. And get this, he also rushed for nearly 1,000 yards and 22 scores on the ground. Video game numbers, right? Every major program was practically begging this kid to come and ball for him. In the end, the gunslinger decided to follow his father's footsteps and commit to play both football and baseball at Tech. The plan was to be a two-star sport just like Pops. But little did Mahomes know, the bazooka of a right arm that he has was about to take off on a journey that he could have never imagined. From the moment that he stepped onto the field for the Red Raiders, it was obvious this dude was built different. Sure, he had an explosive horse for an arm and could swing that pigskin all over the yard with ease, but it was his creativity, his instincts, and his ability to improvise and make something out of nothing that really had set him apart. Mahomes was an absolute must-see TV commodity every time he dropped back to pass. He'd be dancing around the pocket with the ball tucked behind his ear, only to unleash a crazy laser downfield while getting blown up by a pass rusher. The kid played the game with a swag and showmanship that left fans in awe and defensive coordinators pulling what was left out of their hair. This cat was the absolute truth. Over his 3 seasons as the starting QB in Lubbock, Mahomes rewrote the record books. He racked up over 11,000 passing yards and 93 touchdowns, showing off the kind of arm talent and athleticism that made scouts straight up drool. In 2016 alone, his final year, he became the 3rd player in FBS history to throw for over 5,000 yards and rush for 800 plus. Needless to say, dude has proven that he was more than ready to ball at the next level. When the 2017 NFL Draft rolled around, there was a ton of buzz about where this air raid quarterback might land. Some pundits had questioned whether his unorthodox playing style would even translate into the pros, while others weren't even sold on his commitment to football with that baseball background. But Andy Reid of the Kansas City Chiefs saw something special in the young gunslinger, and with the 10th overall pick, they took a chance on Mahomes, hoping that he would be the franchise quarterback they'd been desperately seeking for. For his rookie season, Mahomes took the wise approach of sitting back and learning from vet Alex Smith. While he saw limited action in 2017, flashing that talented potential in a few spot appearances, the plan was for him to take over as the full-time starter the following year. The Chiefs' future was in Mahomes' rocket right arm. Whenever 2018 finally rolled around and Mahomes got his shot, it didn't take long for Arrowhead to be set ablaze. In his second career start, a Week 2 clash with the Steelers, Mahomes announced his arrival by tallying 6 touchdown passes, tying the franchise record and giving fans a glimpse of the fireworks to come. From there, it was basically off to the races. Mahomes was dropping dimes all over the field left and right, making defensive backs look straight silly with his jaw-dropping arm length and incredible accuracy. In fact, he could flick a 60-yard frozen rope downfield with the same casual ease as a 5-yard out route. Defenders had to watch every single blade of grass when covering his receivers, because Mr. Showtime would casually just zip a pass through the tightest of windows without ever batting an eyelash. Just ask Marcus Peters. He had a front row seat to Mahomes hitting Demarcus Robbins with a jaw-dropping dime while getting dragged down. But it wasn't just that cannon for an arm that made Mahomes special. Dude was an athletic monster who'd make defenders look silly in the open field, repeatedly gashing teams with his legs for huge chunks of yards. He was like a create-a-player video game character with all the cheat codes activated, escaping sacks, trucking fools, ripping 99-mile-per-hour lasers, literally an actual cheat code. His 2018 rookie season was just stupid good, with over 5,000 passing yards, 50 touchdowns, and dragging the Chiefs to the AFC Championship game while bringing home field advantage back to Arrowhead. More importantly, he had fans worldwide absolutely captivated by his ridiculous physical talents, gunslinger mentality, and flair for the virtually impossible on a weekly basis. Mahomes was a must-see TV thing, a human highlight reel unlike anything the league had ever witnessed. But that magical first season was just an appetizer for the main course. In 2019, whenever Mahomes was laser-focused on finally bringing the Lombardi Trophy to Kansas City after a 50-year drought. Even when he went down with a knee injury that would have put most dudes on the shelf, Mahomes simply wasn't having it. He powered through it and basically wielded his team to a bunch of crazy comeback wins down the stretch. Prime example of a true competitor who rises to the occasion whenever the stakes are high. The stage was set for one of the most epic playoffs runs you're ever going to see. First off, they were down 24-0 to the Texans in the divisional round. A deficit like that would demoralize pretty much any team, but Mahomes' squad, they flipped a switch and hung 51 unanswered points on Houston in one of the craziest postseason performances ever. The next week against Tennessee, Mahomes and Ryan Tannehill were straight up trading haymakers in an old school quarterback duel for the ages. When the dust finally settled, it was Showtime once again leading a late game winning drive to punch their ticket to the Super Bowl in Miami. The entire football world was gripped by Mahomes mania at this point. His sublime talent and ridiculous improvisational speciality was creating a whole new generation of fans obsessed with the kid from White House, Texas. On the biggest stage against the high-powered 49ers, Mahomes delivered a fourth quarter for the ages. Down 10 points heading into the final frame, he coolly led two strategical scoring drives to tie it up before eventually hitting Travis Kelce with a perfect strike to give KC their first Super Bowl dub in half a century. Confetti raining down, Mahomes hoisting that Super Bowl MVP trophy, and the realization of a dream for that once scrawny kid with a recklessly strong belief in himself. But you know, our man wasn't going to rest on those Super Bowl laurels and massive contract extensions in 2020. Nah, Mahomes just went ahead and took his game to even higher levels, surprising fans every week with the kind of no-look, cross-body dimes that simply shouldn't be possible. Rewriting what we think is doable on a football field on the regular. He was out there slinging it like a madman in 2020, racking up 4,700 passing yards and 38 touchdowns like it was nothing. Kansas City was a must-see TV event every week. You never knew what Mahomes was going to bust out some mind-bending, physics-defying throw that would make your jaw drop. Frozen ropes threaded through the triple coverage, casual 60-yard bombs flicked like it was a warm-up toss, all in a day's work for this offensive quarterback, and don't even get me started on his playoff heroics that year. Against the Browns, he took a wicked shot that sent him into the locker room, only to clear concussion protocol and come back to lead a 13-second game-defying drive to force overtime. Then who could ever forget the AFC Championship game shootout against Josh Allen and the Bills? Two superstar quarterbacks just trading haymakers, going bomb for bomb in one of the wildest playoff battles you'll ever see. Mahomes dropped 325 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first half alone. Legendary stuff. Even the fearsome Bucs defense in the Super Bowl couldn't contain him for too long. Yeah, sure, they had him on the ropes early, but Showtime flipped the switch late and almost single-handedly wiled the Chiefs back with some cold-blooded scoring drives. The comeback fell short, but it was just more proof that this kid is simply never out of the game. 2021 rolled around and Mahomes picked up right where he left off, torching defenses left and right with video game-esque scrambles, no-luck dimes, you name it. His 4 TD masterpiece against the Raiders, shredding his buddy Derek Carr, was quintessential Patty magic. Injuries did try to slow him down, but the dude straight up refused to be grounded no matter how heavy the pressure came. He was still making defenders look foolish on one leg and hitting absolute dimes with a skeleton crew of receivers. Remember that no-look touchdown pass against the Steelers while getting demolished? That's only something Mahomes would do. Even in a down year, he was still setting records. Fastest to 35 games with 300+ yards and 3 touchdowns, passing Dan Marino. But that's just what this transcendent talent does: smash norms and rewrite our expectations of quarterback greatness. At 28 years old, with at least a decade of Showtime craziness ahead, Mahomes is just getting started. So whether he's flicking 70-yard bombs with casual ease, comforting his body for insane throws, or just straight up making fools of defenders with his genius improv skills, this kid plays quarterback at a level we've never seen. Defensive coordinators are gonna need to stockpile antacids for the Mahomes era, because with him on the field, anything is possible. Must-see sports entertainment at its finest. So go ahead and smash that like button if you want to see more profile videos breaking down today's biggest sports icons. Subscribe to the channel and also hit that notification bell so you don't miss another jaw-dropping highlight reel or all-time great origin story.